Okay, I think it's been a while since I've actually talked about cardio and everything. So there are several different options that you can do for cardio. So and of course, when it comes, this is one mode of training. So like, what you want to do with training is you want to find your primary mode of training of what it is that gets you pretty much going on a regular basis. For me, it's become lifting and everything. That doesn't necessarily mean we neglect other forms of training and everything, in instance cardio in this instance and everything. So, and I actually don't mind doing cardio. I mean, I prefer to focus more on lifting and strength training, but I do cardio because you also have to do your conditioning and everything. So, and of course, if you're in the reverse, if you like doing cardio and everything, you don't necessarily want to neglect your strength training. So if cardio, like running, and whether it's road running or trail running, if that's your primary mode, I would say like still get your lifting in, but do like a couple days. Do like an you could do like an upper lower split, one of those, one upper and one lower lifting session each week, just to get it in, and then do 3 maybe 4 days of running and everything. So it all depends on how you gear towards your primary mode of training. So with cardio, there are several different forms of cardio. Of course, like I've mentioned, running. There's trail running. There's road running. I would say stick with trail running because if you can, because I know my senior year in high school when I was doing indoor and outdoor track, I was doing a lot of running, pavement running. My cat is off camera wanting attention. And I ended up getting tendonitis in both ankles, like my right ankle during the indoor season, and I had the same pain in my left ankle. Yep, here we go. Here he comes. Yes. So I got the same pain in my left ankle in my outdoor season, and I was assuming it was tendonitis and everything because it was the same kind of pain and everything, but I didn't get it checked out, so I ended up taking a couple weeks off, just kind of heal up and everything, and then got back into it, and I was completely fine. So that's why when it comes to running, I tend to prefer trail running, but of course you might be in a position where you might not necessarily be able to get trail running. You have to do that pavement running, and yeah, there's that. But if you're looking for something that's not as that's kind of more a low intense or whatever, or kind of maybe easier on your joints and stuff, I would say use go to the gym and use things like elliptical, which would be great because you're not necessarily pounding on pavement or dirt or anything. Another one is you can use cycling. Of course, you could do the good old Tour de France, or in commercial gyms you can use the stationary bike. And of course there's also the stairmasters that you can use. There's treadmills. There's also rowing machines. And of course probably the one of the things that's probably the has the least impact on your body, that is probably just as intense if not more intense than everything else, is good old swimming. So if you have access to a pool, that's a good mode of cardio as well. So of course you have to take a look at what you're going after too. Marathon runners, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathon, marathon, ultra marathon runners, you're pretty much going to have to start running long distance and everything. So and of course, as always, you kind of have to start off assess where you're at and everything. So if you can't necessarily if you're brand new and you can't necessarily run a mile, build that up, and then and then build yourself up to being able to run 2 miles, and then get yourself up to be able to do that maybe a 5K, then build yourself up to do that 10K, and build yourself up to do that marathon. And it's the same thing goes to with swimming, cycling, any form of cardio that you do. You kind of have to assess where your starting point is, and then go from there and build up from that and everything. So now I think my favorite form of cardio is probably HIIT, high intensity interval training, because you can pretty much get stuff done in a quick amount of time and everything. So the concept of like the high intensity interval training is you do like a certain amount of time on, a certain amount of time off. So like for instance, you might do like a 30-second all out sprint, and then you take you back it off and kind of like do like a minute to recover, and you do that 6 or 7 times and everything. So you can get like in a sense like the same kind of like same distance as you would maybe doing 20 minutes of like a low intensity in steady state cardio in essence and everything. But with everything, what you want to do is you want to kind of play around with it and find what you like to do and everything. So like you might be like me and like doing the HIIT training, so you can just get it in, get it done, and get on with everything. I don't mind doing long distance either. So like of course it all, for me it all depends on like what program I'm doing. Like I'm as of like this recording, I'm entering into the last week of Norse Fitness, and that was an upper lower split, doing it like twice a week. So you'd have 2 upper and 2 lower strength training sessions, and there wasn't any in a sense cardio programmed in. So I ended up like well, I'm used to doing 6 days a week, so like I ended up using one day as like to try and more focus on those sprints and everything, and then the second day kind of go more for time and distance and everything. So that's one way to focus in and out. Like the great thing I like about Athlete X programs is like most of them, they have the like conditioning in them. Like for instance, like the AX1 program, which would be the best place to start for most people. Now you could always start with like the 0 and 0-2 programs. There's the elastics with like the 2-0 programs are basically body weight programs, so you could start there. And now again, you're going to have to assess where you're starting. So like if you're like obese or morbidly obese and you've never trained in your life before, those would probably actually be good segues into the AX1 program. But with the AX1 program, it's a full body split where you're doing that 3 times a week, plus you're doing 2 days of conditioning. So like now that's 5 days a week, so we could do easily like the stereotypical Monday through Friday schedule. You could do that AX1 program Monday through Friday. I would say like then like on the weekends focus in on like getting in the 10,000 steps, and then like getting in like yoga classes for recovery. Yeah, I know, you're the star of the show, aren't you? Yes. Another form of like cardio is you can chase these cats all around and everything. Yeah. Yeah. You think so? No? No? Yes. You just want attention, huh? Yeah. But anyway, like that, those are like the different ways to go about like stuff. And so like and again, if you get to the point where like you are maybe like I'm looking for instance to do Iron Curtain next, and that's like a 4-day split, like 4 days of lifting. So I mean I might add like a 5th day for cardio and everything. So you might do something like that or whatever. Or like and of course if you're maybe you're doing not necessarily an athlete X program, but maybe you're doing like a lifting program of like the push pull leg split, and you're doing those 3 types of workouts twice a week and everything. What you could do is like add in like maybe like 20 minutes of like cardio at the end of your lifting session. Like for instance, like you go like I tend to go to the local Planet Fitness and everything. It's like, yeah, Planet Fitness tends to get a lot of hate and everything, but the one I go to isn't that actually that bad and everything. It's actually pretty good. So what you can do is get on the treadmill, like on there or any other gym, put the incline up to like 11 and put the speed at like 3.5, maybe 4 miles, and like you could get in like a good 20 minutes of cardio right after you get your strength training done. So you could do that 2 or 3 times a week as well. So again, like, there's many different ways. Like I mentioned, swimming. If you have access to a pool, there's something that's like low impact on your body and your joints and everything, but you're still getting like that low impact, high intensity type of deal. And so, like of course, like I mentioned, there's also trail running. There's road running. You can use the elliptical. There's the rowing machine. You can use that, and you also get like a good back workout in with that. And of course, there's the Stairmaster, which is like not only functions as like a good cardio session, but also a good leg workout too, because you're constantly stepping up. Like you kind of are simulating like hiking, which there is then another form of cardio that you could do is you could go for a hike or whatever. So like for instance, using the AX1 program as an example, you could get your training in Monday through Friday. Saturday you go for a hike, and then you have like a Sunday as your recovery day. So it all depends on like again like what you're going after and like what you want to do. So like the best bet to do is to try several different modes, and like I've gone over this video with like the several different modes. Find what you like to do, so that way you're not like, oh man, I have to go do the elliptical, like but you, well, hey, they got a rowing machine, I want to do that and everything. And of course, like what I just thought about was like also the battle ropes too. So there's another good session, like good cardio session you could do. And like you sit there with the battle ropes and you just like swing them up and down, and like they do. And you could do like the high intensity interval training too with those. And like of course you're also getting like an arm and shoulder workout with it too. So there's many different forms of like cardio that you can play around with. So like I'm just kind of here giving like an idea of like, hey, look, here's cardio training, here's stuff you can do. And the best way to do is play around with it, like I said, and like find what you like to do. And if you're like me and tend to gravitate more towards strength training, find something that you like to do that you can at least fit in at least once or maybe twice a week on top of your regular strength training.